Hello gamers, welcome to the video on the STB that many of you have asked for. I want to remind you guys, if you haven't entered yet into the giveaway, we have about 800 people in right now, and we need a bit more to complete it. The link will be in the description down below and in the pinned comment. Do check it out. It takes about 10 minutes of your time to get some nice prizes. But let's get into the STB. The STB is a tank that I personally don't really like that much anymore. I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason for this is, I'm gonna get to it straight, is that I feel if I want to play an actual hulldown tank, I could one, play a heavy, which is just kind of the state of the game, but two, if I wanted to play a medium that could play a hulldown, I'd play Udas. And the reason why is I feel like Udas is just more reliable in hulldown than the STB because of the turret. Has better alpha as well. That's unfortunate. Take 2 shots for that as well. It's epic. But yeah, the Udas for me just feels more reliable in hulldown than the STB does, and it also has higher alpha. I'm not the greatest fan of the STB's suspension system and the way it works. And I'm also not the biggest fan of the STB's alpha. So those things are there. I'm not the biggest fan of the STB's gun, but that's a different thing altogether. RNG here doing a bit of the big trolling. The one thing that's good about the STB though is its DPM. Now, however, that is with a grain of salt though, because DPM is a number that a lot of people hold a lot of value to. However, I feel that with DPM, you always have to remember that actual use DPM and usable DPM are two different things. Like, having DPM is one thing, but being able to use it is a whole different, because like, if you can't immediately shoot after you reload it, you're already losing out on DPM. However, here against the Carney X, I am able to DPM him quite well down towards low HP. Gonna be trying to hit this cupola here. We don't succeed at that. He hits us back in return. We're gonna be careful with our traits against him. We're not connecting that. I might even try to pick the AMX M4 just for one shot of damage. I do that though, because the AMX M4 is just kind of easier to hit at this moment in time than the interior action X's. I'm even gonna finish the M4, but that is not happening today apparently. So let's just focus to this interior and action X. And you can have really good games in STB, but like for me, it just doesn't feel that comfy to play it. And yeah, there's just so many things that I struggle with. And also RD, man. When you're playing STB, RD is a menace, because RD can, and even HE shells, to be honest. Like, RD and HE shells are pretty dangerous to your STB when you're playing it. So all of those kind of things make me not to be the biggest fan of it. I know a lot of people love it and a lot of people like it. However, for me, it's just like, it has a bit of everything and doesn't excel at anything in particular, right? That's why I said if I wanted to play a real hulldown tank, I'd play a heavy, or I would just simply play a Udas. Udas, of course, has its own issues as well, but that's a different story for a different video. We focused on the STB now. I went 1-2 line. I kind of just farmed. I think it was pretty straightforward what we did there. Sorry if I didn't tell too much about what we were doing. I was mainly focused on explaining what I like and what I don't like about the STB. But yeah, we got a nice shot here on Mission Battle. We do get 4k out of this, which is, you know, it's not a great battle, but it's pretty fine per se. And oh yeah, and another thing, I'm still gonna, like, for everybody asking, I'm still gonna do gameplay videos, and I'm also gonna do highlight videos like we did with the VK, the CS, E3. I'm gonna continue doing both, so people get what they want. I want to cater to a lot of people, while also, you know, trying to get the videos out to some new people. And that is what I'm trying to achieve. I know people like gameplay videos, I like people like highlight videos. I'll continue doing both, so there's no real point to say like, oh, I prefer this format or I prefer that format. You will get both formats, so there will be something and anything for everybody in that. So we started this off 4k, not the greatest battle for us personally. There was not much more that I could have done though. I could have gotten maybe 1 or 2 shots against the CS and 1 more shot against the Udas, which would have given us 5k, but outside of that we hit almost everything that we were able to shoot at. So yeah, but I just feel like this tank in general is really hard to play. Especially in the heavy meta that the game is in. And like I said, the hydraulic mode for me is really hard to control, IMO, and the HE, ID, there's just so many things that can wreck your STB. But when it works wonderful because you do have that DPM. Anyways, we get a Fjords Standard Battle Tier 9, Tier 10. My favorite MM actually to play, like this here is my favorite MM to play at Tier 10. Because you have so much HP, there's no ID, and there's not really any really super annoying things to play against. I could commit in the dip here straight. Our team has a massive advantage in terms of heavies and side, actually, because we have double M4 and IS4 and a Chief against the I7, a Kran, a 277, and a 257. You could say that we are favored in that department to actually win this. I'll repeat it again, I've said it from the other side. Do not go in the dip if you're going alone. If you go alone in the dip, there's a very high chance you're gonna get YOLO'd, you're gonna die. It's awful. Does it suck overall not having the hole? Yeah, of course it does, but if you go completely alone, it doesn't change anything. I can see now with me on the minimap that I have a Chieftain with me. Now, a Chieftain is gonna be a very strong teammate to have at this position here. Even have a Patton actually coming as well. So we have 3 tanks in the dip. In most of the cases, we should be pretty fine here. I don't want to be the one to trade against the face, because the way I have to peek this, I'm always kind of exposing my... I'm always going to be exposing my lower plate. I give him 1 shot. Because of my DPM, I should reload before he gets again, and we'll track him, hopefully. Before he goes around the corner. No, he's using hardening, so no track there on him. Just fine. Again, I want the Chieftain to go forward, because... Let's be real, the Chieftain is just the best tank for this. I'm not sure why he's angry at me. There's an object for 30 there shooting me. There's the phase fired again. I still have the DPM on him just to kill him, so I'm gonna be doing that here in a second. I do pick him up. So a clean kill here. I don't think the Chief is very happy already. I'm not gonna push forward because that's not my job. I don't really have the frontal armor to just push this. If it wasn't a heavy with like real frontal armor, I would be tempted to actually go for it and spot it to these, but in an STB it's basically a death wish, to be honest. First that he gets spotted out again. I'm not connecting the shot though. It's unfortunate. He's a little annoying, but you know, he has 2 marks on it, so he also thinks that he's God's given present to this planet. And there's a Fish 155. We're not gonna connect that. The Chieftain will not connect it either though. Fish 155 is -2. Connected to the lower plate. He's getting farmed now from the north. He has 1 more though. Go for the cupola. I shouldn't really be able to hit his back, so for that. As I say that though, we take a shot from the Fish 155, which is it's what we would call a personal skill issue actually. Chieftain's pushing forward now, which is risky. He's trying to pick up some assists, but since we're not pressuring the north, you could be in trouble there. If you do this move what the Chiefs is doing and they still have somebody here, you're often in a very large amount of trouble. My team is pushing around already though, which is also interesting because I can't really help them on this. Yes, I understand you need help, but I don't know what you want me to do, to be honest. Let's have a Leo on spot, an E4 on spot, and a Waffentrager on spot. So all these things kind of scare me. I could be going there, but even that is not really the greatest of push. But I will go there though, after all, when I think about it. Cause my team's going to push from the south, which is going to turn those guys on the rock around, probably. Or make them push forward later to 77 is doing, which means that I could possibly farm them. The hulldown crown is, however, not really easy for me to fight against. But he's going to be reloading here in a second. And 277 is going to continue on his merry way. So I'm going to be sitting here. Mid-start shot. It's just the SCB gun being amazing. I don't even know what to say about that. It's just the STB gun being the STB gun. Yeah, the 277 hits that on the move, but we are unable to hit him even when we are fully aiming. We get the 4 shot though, which is pretty nice. We're reloading to heat now to shoot the STV. But he's gonna blow up immediately. And luckily enough for us here is that we have one saving grace, but only one, is that we have DPM. And that we might be able to use that to get a decent game out here, but it's going to be another 4K battle, to be honest. By the looks of things, because before the Leo will die. I mean, I have 3.1 now, I would need 3 more shots to get what I would like to get out of this, so give one to the Leo. You're going to get shot by the Chieftain though. Finish off the Leo. The E4 is coming for us now, which she's going to get even as well. One more shot, 4.1. Again, not a great battle. We should have had 1 or 2 more shots against the 277. What can we do in these kind of games? Not much more. Like, really, we can't do much more. We could have gone middle slightly earlier to shoot the 277 and just pushing the MX, but really, outside of that, it's too fast to get more out of. And for me, the STB is not a 5K tank. I mean, people have done 5K on it. For me, it is not one of those. You know, I've said it about 320 alpha guns in tier 10, like 140, T62A, name it. All of those, I've said it, like, I don't really like those because of the fact that low alpha is really hard to play in a heavy meta, especially a hardening meta, let's put it that way, where a lot of heavies are using hardening. Because of the fact that it takes you so many shots to actually perma-track somebody, and they have big alpha and you have small alpha, which means that your trades have to be so much better than they have to be on just a regular heavy. Like on this with the STB, you know, I need to do 2 shots to have like an AMX alpha. I mean, it's 560. This is you know, a bit of an over-exaggeration, but I think you get the point how much harder it is and also how much more expensive it is. Because let's be real, if you're playing in tier 10, you're going to be using a lot of heat, gold ammo, premium ammo, whatever you want to say. You're going to be using it quite often. And as a result of that, then you have this low alpha but high reloads kind of ammunition. And this comes also with the fact that it is going to be expensive. And we've talked about Muro before. The only times I come to the forest in Muro is when I see my team come to the forest in Muro. If I see my team come in the forest in Muro, I will be going to the forest in Muro as well. I'm going to use the hut here to protect myself against the TVP. I'm going to use the other hut here to protect me against the TVP again. I'm going to use the truck now to protect me against the TVP. It's just about using... it's just about using the terrain. The M60 is the turret, no, the DC. The way you notice the DC is because his turret is now turning backwards, which means that he just disconnected out of the battle, which is unfortunate for him, but there's not much we can do about that. I don't really want to peek this either, because the TVP still exists. I'm gonna wait for somebody else to kill him, which is what they did now, and then hope that we are able to take this area here. If we take this area here, I can farm all of these guys relatively easily, but that would mean that the TVP can't be there. If the TVP is there, it's gonna be really, really bad for me. When you try to play this area here, you also have to be really careful from this, because if you peek here, you get shot by this bush here. That's a piece of information that will be useful for you. TVP is here though. He actually hits a zinger on me. In return though, he is dying because we have our TVP shooting. So that's pretty cool. Got a lot of assist out of that. The Sheridan should be running away. I'm gonna reload heat now, and I should be able to shoot this without really getting farmed. We always try and shoot for engines if we can, because of the chance of setting it on fire, of course. I'm gonna back off now because I was spotted. And then we're gonna peek this again and try to farm out the chieftain. I don't want to be the fruit to you, that was too. Instead of the fruit to you, we'll take it. I don't think I am spotted for this. Get a shot on the chieftain. In that position where the chieftain is, it's just really hard to play when you lose control over this, because you go from having a really strong position that you can farm from to having a really weak position that you can't do anything from, and crossing over is really hard and sucks for you. But I would need the fruit to you spotted again to continue farming. The chieftain is running there. I actually managed to run unspotted. That's epic. For him, at least. And the chieftain is dead. How unfortunate. There's a light on my left here, or something is on my left. I'm not sure what it is, but there is something there. I think I can peek this in relative ease. Give one to the T100, you get shot by the 279 as well. We gotta be careful when peeking over too hard. A7 and even this can shoot you if you peek too much. And they still have 3 TDs unspotted, so of course we gotta be careful for that, right? I think that makes sense. You can see from here that you have shots on towards the AMX and Kran when they do decide to peek. That's just a general thing that you have to be careful about, which is also why I highlighted it. The EBR gets spotted on the left. Yeah, one shot at him, 450 actually. It's a good roll. We should be pressuring now, even though we're spotted. It's a bit risky when we're spotted, but yeah, that's why it's a bit risky, because we immediately take a shot from the MX. They also still have a 183 unspotted, so we're trying to push up here without dying. I could say is the goal. The first you actually managed to get all the way back. Would have been epic if we had a light with us when I was farming from the outside, because he would have stopped this first video from running away like this, and we're farming with it. Yesterday we got one stand by the 183. Hopes you enjoyed your game. Hope you had fun. And now comes a difficult trade against the MX-M4. He's immediately getting the logo. It's actually not that bad. He gets solo, he dies immediately. And this is another game that is just incredibly fast. Even for Morovanka from arguably the bad side, we are just rolling over the enemy team. And that's mainly because we won the 6 line here for free. Because this position here counters all of that. If you actually manage to win that on Muro, you almost always just have a very straightforward and actually pretty easy game. Where your farm is decent, but not epic, because the game is too fast. Like, I don't know, boys. I am not a miracle worker in terms of I cannot make a game longer than it is, or than it lasts. I get 4.5 out of this, and I literally tried to farm everything that I could. I mean, it's just so incredibly fast. I mean, we're 17 minutes into the YouTube video, and it's basically over. STB being STB, but I think it's more MM being MM. I think I've talked you through to why I think the STB is just hard to play now. Low HP, relatively low alpha, a gun that only really works in short range, which means you have to trade with the heavies most of the time, which have better armor, better alpha, even better mobility, better guns, everything. It's just so hard to play this tank properly, because the way it's supposed to be played is playing with the hold-on heavies, which means you're facing hold-on heavies. Makes all of this just incredibly hard. 4.5k, not a 5k session, a 4.3k session. Then again, for me, the STB is not a 5k tank. Around 4.5k is, for me, what it does at best. But yeah, that was STB, and many people answered. I have this equipment as one. I have turbo on the second one. You could put improved aiming if you really wanted to for the extra thing, but I don't personally use it. In terms of field mods, we use the mobility durability, which is a standard pick on all mediums. Then we use the aiming circle size. We take the extra reverse speed because of the way that it plays. You want to get back out of cover quickly when you're playing hold down. Top forward speed. And I don't think either of the two here, because I play with HP anyway, so I don't really need it. However, you could take the left one here if you wanted to. It doesn't change your repair time by too much, but I don't think it is needed. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Gave you some tips, tricks, insights on what to do with what map, why, and what I think about the tank. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys all in the very next one. If you want to let me know what you would like to see next, leave a comment down below, and I'll be sure to check it out. Anyways, gamers, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.